Hey, it's me. So, the DePaul University debate, where Milo Yiannopoulos was uh, essentially no platformed by protesters and almost assaulted, and the faculty of this university decides to side with violent protesters over somebody who was almost assaulted on stage in front of the entire in front of a good portion of the student body. Where do we begin? This seems like what universities are devolving into is this uh, farm for violent political protest, and not in a good kind. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but I can remember when you were supposed to express unpopular and outlandish ideas at university. Maybe I'm just weird like that. But what do we say in this kind of situation? Um, Sargon did an excellent post on this. I'm going to pop a link to his video in the description below. Check it out. Sign the petition to suspend social justice courses. I live in Canada, which is it's not as bad as the United States, mostly because we're I don't want to say reserved orderly, but we're just generally speaking too polite to do this kind of thing. Yet. Now that's not to say that I'm immediately siding with Milo either. There are some things Milo has said that I agree with, some things I don't agree with, but come the fuck on. Even if you don't like what the person is talking about, you don't automatically rush the stage with a goon squad, which is essentially what happened. Grab microphones out of people's hands, almost hit people with said microphones, and expect not to get some kind of a reprimand. But the most we're going to see from these students who did attach themselves to the Black Lives Matter movement, the fact that a movement like that is allowed to continue on and do shit like this and only receive so much as a slap on the wrist. What the hell? In all fairness, what the actual fuck is going on in universities these days? There isn't much more to say here than to point out the blatant hypocrisy behind ye faculties will immediately just side with a political movement and be so unapologetically biased about it. This university, the university faculties deliberately back security personnel. They prevented them from doing their jobs, thus allowing violent protesters to have the stage. That to me sends a clear message that universities don't care about free speech at this point. If they're willing to just unapologetically shut down a talk that they don't agree with, they don't care about free speech anymore. I honestly don't know what else there really is to say on this. Then, if you can't see what's wrong with this picture, wherein a person who, to the best of my knowledge, is pretty nonviolent and for the most part really hasn't done much more than just held contentious opinions. When that kind of a person can't be allowed to speak at a motherfucking university where contentious opinions are supposed to be held by everyone, where you're supposed to come in, express whatever idea you want, and have people either agree or disagree, but never just shut down for what? Like, what do these protesters actually accomplish shutting down the entire movement like that? I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just flying off into left field. maybe there is some grand movement behind this, and it was the right thing to shut down the the talk like that. But if shutting down the talk like that was the right thing to do, one would think that you wouldn't have to resort to such extreme and violent measures to do it. If history has taught us anything, it's that usually those who resort to violence first are in the wrong. It's seldom that a movement that is looked upon favorably in history has been one that has initiated the violence. At least that's from my perspective. This was like just the general lukewarm response from the university administration at DePaul is pathetic and just outright almost inexcusable. And yet I can see that these protesters are not going to get any kind of real reprimand. You know, in any other situation, protesting like this at the university would be met with serious consequences and repercussions. But it's not. It's just going to be business as usual at these universities. You know, how long is this going to go on and people are going to get away with it? It's pathetic. It honestly is. If you're as angry about this as I am, feel free to comment. Like I said, if you think that I'm in the wrong, come at me, bro. Your hatred sustains me. But for the most part, like, I don't know. This is the status quo for universities right now, and that's kind of appalling. Later, everybody. I'm out.